Okay, we're back for part 2. This is going to be the last 4 sections that I'll deal with question number 4. So it says to start off, now that you've got a development database, we need to be prepared to have certain tables taken from it. We're going to use the bowling test database rather than the one on the live server. But just wanted to, basically, we're going to do this. Make sure that you have a recent backup of your bowling database. You should have this from the steps above. And we do. It's here. It's bowling_test. So that one clears that particular hurdle. Use the student example, which was the video that you had us watch about BCP, and export the bowler scores and the bowler tables from the database. So to do that, we're going to open up a couple of PowerShell windows, which I have open here. And in one, we're going to run SQL command line to get to the SQL command line program, which we've done here. And then in the second shell window, we are going to use that to conduct our BCP commands. So to do that, we're going to type in this command, and I'm just going to copy this right here rather than retype it. So basically, we are going to copy out of the bowling test, and we're going to copy or export out from the people schema, the bowler scores. It's going to go out. It's going to go out to this file, which is users and blah, 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 all the way to BCP polling scores.txt. And we are going to use these format commands that were used in the video that I have yet to find out what they mean, but, you know, it was not part of the assignment. So, all right. We run that. And you can see that 134 rows were copied out. We can verify that by going over here, and we can do select count star from bowling test dot people dot bowler scores. And we can see that we have 1,344, if I can talk correctly, different rows that were copied, and that matches the 1,344 rows that were copied over. So good to go there. And then we can do the same thing for the bowlers list, which is very similar. We're just going to we're going to use the same command structure, but in this case, we're going to just use the bowlers table, and we are going to use the bowlers.txt file. Everything else is the same. You can see that 32 rows were copied, and we can do the same thing here. We can go select count from, and we'll do the same database. And we can see that there are now 32 rows in that file as well. We could also go and look at the backup file, which, if I bring it open here, I created a folder on my desktop for the BCPs, and you can see that we now have a text file for bowling scores and a text file for BCP bowlers. So, all right. The next thing we were to do is to validate that the export files from step B exist, which I was just showing you. So I navigated to the BCP directory, and I showed you, again, the two files that are there. Then we want to delete, we're going to run 2 deletes to wipe out all the data in the bowler scores and the bowlers tables from the test database. So to do that, we are going to go back over to our command line, SQL command line program, and we are going to type in this line here, and I'm actually going to add something to it just so, well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go use bowling underscore test make sure that we're changed over to the right database. I could do the same thing by typing in bowling underscore test dot people, and that will make sure that we are always in the right database. And if we do that, we should now see that it has affected 1344 rows, which is exactly what we had determined was in there in the first place. And if we go and we run from bowler scores, go, we can now see that there are 0 rows in there. We'll get that back in a second. So we can do the same thing here. And again, let's just do our count. And again, 0. All right. So we've now deleted, oh no, we've deleted 2 tables from the database. We're going to run the backup. So to do this, we go back to the PowerShell with just the command prompt. And we are going to first restore. Now, oh, there was one other thing we could do. We can come here to bowling test, go to tables. We go to the bowler scores and do a select. You'll see we have nothing in that data in that table, and we can do the same thing here, and again nothing in that table. So let's run this particular command. It's exactly like what we ran before for the export, only in this case we're changing the word out to the word in. So now we're going to import this table data that we've previously exported back into the bowling, from bowling scores.txt back into bowling test people.bowlers. So we're going to put that back in. We're going to do the same thing for the bowlers table. I'm not sure what all those warnings are. I didn't get those last time, but we'll see what happened. So now we can go back over here and we can do we can see that we're back to 1344 rows in that particular table. And we're back to 32, so we verified here. And then if we go back to our tables, and we go and just run the top 1000, we can now see that we have data back in that table and data back in that table. So we have undone what we did. So that's what I have for this week. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week. Thanks.